Give us a broad sense of where you see 2023. We've already talked about, there is a lot of discussion around a possible rebound in China after the last year, and also, of course, global recessionary challenges coming up. In a sector like yours in particular, and in general, as one of the country's foremost industrialists, what do you see as 2023 looking like?
Thank you. It looks very exciting to me. I think it's very positive too. Look at the numbers that float around. 6.2% as compared to any other Western country, which looks very sad and downwards. The challenges which you see in Europe with the Russia-Ukraine war, where you see a lot of difficulty there. I think overall the sensitivity of the West, which has now almost removed 100,000 people from their jobs as a cumulative number. Somebody said it's 50,000, but even 50,000 for the US in one shot is pretty high. I think all these things definitely indicate an international challenge for all of us across the globe. However, we're seeing some differences in India with the demographics that we have, with the kind of thought process that we have put in terms of geopolitics. I think we have had several wins. Number one win, we were able to get petroleum and gas from Russia. It saved us 35,000 crores as an upfront amount, which would have bought from the open market. I think that made a world of a difference that happened. We have been able to see that our markets itself have remained high internally, both in terms of the stock markets and the other markets in terms of it. Real estate volumes have grown between 15 and 20%, depending on the type of sector that you're looking at. So all in all, we have seen a growth path which has been unprecedented, so in spite of that. And this is in spite of the fact that interest rates have gone up. Home loans have gone up from 6.5% to 8.2% on an average. So obviously, those are the headwinds that you talked about. But in spite of that, home finance has gone up 20% across the board. So that's a win that you see blowing in the thing. Second, we thought that COVID would be a negative to home buying. It's been the reverse. People have actually gone in for homes and home loans. In fact, 22 has seen the first time in my career that I've seen that the upper segment of homes has grown faster than the affordable segment. Though, of course, the affordable segment is a much larger segment as the total. But even then, this thing has never happened before, that the growth of the higher segment has grown faster. All these things put together shows us that we've been able to be resilient to the international move, and one of those times where we haven't seen it. As far as tech is concerned, there is a huge concern, and I think that the market sensitivity is also indicating that. However, there are contrarian views, and this is what I would like more than anything else. The contrarian view says really that the moment the West has a problem, they want to offshore more work, obviously because of the cost arbitrage. And if that is happening, then I think we won't have a problem in the tech sector as much as we would do it. Infra has grown hugely. And that is with 35 kilometers of national highways per day and the inauguration in Mumbai by the Prime Minister and do it. I think we are seeing a different India completely. More resilient, more there, 6.2%, very positive growth. I'm looking at 2023 with a very positive angle. Yes, I do believe that the budget is going to be very critical for us. We are hoping that in this budget, 1 year before the final budget, which would come next year before the elections, we would be able to see a further positive impact on investments, because that is something which is very badly needed. I know the government is investing. Disinvestment, according to me, has been too slow. I think a faster disinvestment would have definitely helped the market, and the money being used for the purposes of putting up further infrastructure, airports, roads, waterways, ports, all these things put together. There's one number which I want to put down across to you. The logistic costs in India is around 13%. So anything that you buy, 13% is the cost of logistics. Contrary to that, the logistic cost in China is close to 7%. So we have a 6%, China has an arbitrage for every item of goods that it exports or supplies to the local customer. With the national highways, with roads, with transport, airports, all this, if we can bring this 13 down to less than 10 in the next 2 years, that itself will be a 2% GDP growth which will be added to the economy simply because of investments into the infrastructure.
Yeah.
So very positive.
That's clearly the government's objective also in terms of logistics, like you rightly said. We'll come to details a little bit of the budget a little later. Mr. Piramal, you are in a business which is directly related to the consumer in that sense. What is the sense you get? We talk about India, the domestic market being one of the key strengths which will sort of tide us through these challenges which are global. What is your sense, and how do you see, the kind of headwinds and the kind of way in which we can sort of tide over those challenges, banking on the domestic market?
I am a confirmed optimist, and I have been saying since '92, since the reform started, that there is only one way that India can go, and that is upwards. But I would say now, for the first time in the last 5 years, 6 years since this government has come, that we have never seen an India in this light, and what we have experienced in the last 5 years. And particularly with China now on the decline. China is, people sort of say China economy is finished and all, but that's all rubbish. China is the second largest economy in the world, about 6 times the size of India. So even if China grows at 3% and India grows at 6%, the overall input they have, the growth is much more than what happens in India. But nevertheless, China is on the decline, which is a big change for India, and we are getting that advantage. We have never seen that normally when such a large country, large economy like China goes down, it has an impact on the world because demand goes down. There's such a big part of the buying and selling. But for India, I think it's an advantage because we are mainly buying from China. So we should get things at a slightly cheaper price. Our main imports are either consumer goods from China, consumer and industrial goods from China, and of course, crude oil. So if China demand goes down, then crude oil also relatively it has an impact. And of course, at the moment, even Europe and all are under strain. So this sort of juxtaposition of India with the rest of the world is their problems are not really affecting us so adversely, I feel. But in fact, it is to our advantage.